Number 8, we must solve this by factoring. So to factor it, we got to get it into a trinomial. And you must always, always, always get things set equal to 0 when we're doing it by factoring. So, or using the quadratic formula. So I need to move all these guys over, every one of them. I need them over on the other side. So I'm going to add 2n squared. I'm going to add 9n. I'm going to add 3. Okay, a bunch of adding going on. So we're going to add 2n squared there, and then add 9n here, and then also add 3. A little sloppy there, sorry. So we get 0 on this side. We know that. 4n squared plus 6n squared plus 2n squared gives you 6n squared. My brain is firing a little too fast. 2n plus 9n, 11n. And then you have a plus 3. So we have this trinomial now, 6n squared plus 11n plus 3. And we need to factor it. We need to break it up into what times what equals 0. And when we do that, we then can say, hey, either this guy has to be 0 or this guy has to be 0. So we need to break it up. We need to factor it because it said, hey, we want you to do this problem by factoring. So we have to factor this 6n squared plus 11n plus 3. When the a value is a number there besides a 1, we're going to do it by busting b. In other words, we're going to break this 11n into 2 parts. So the first step, we multiply our a times c value, which is 18. We then think of the factors of 18. 1 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6. And we look, who can create 11n? That's the 2 and the 9. And everybody's positive here, so this is going to be a plus 2n plus 9n. I'll bring down my 3, and I'm going to bring down my 6n squared. So what I've done is I've busted b into 2 parts. That creates a trinomial going to 4 pieces. When something's in 4 pieces, we factor by grouping, where we group the front 2 and we group the back 2. Let me add, it doesn't matter if you have 2n plus 9n like we do, or you put the 9n first and then the 2n. It's all going to give you the same answer. So now let's factor this first grouping, 6 and 2. So we factor out a 2, n squared and n, so an n can come out. 2 times 3 is the 6. N times n is the n squared. Now 2n times what gives you back the 2n? Just a 1. Plus, now I'm going to factor out here. 9 and 3, a 3 factors out. 3 times 3 gives me the 9, and then you have an n. 3 times a 1 gives you back that 3. Now, how do we do this? Well, you are looking, notice that both those pieces inside parentheses are exactly the same. This is a 3n plus 1 and a 3n plus 1. So it really is factoring out here. And then the other piece that you're left behind with was 2n plus 3. So we have now factored by busting b. We now need to go a little bit further. We need to say, hey, either this comes out to be 0 or this guy comes out to be 0. One of those binomials has to be a 0. So I'm simply going to say, all right, what would make him 0? And let's also look at what would make him be 0. So I now subtract 1, 3n is equal to negative 1, divide by 3, negative 1/3 would be one solution. Subtract 3, 2n is negative 3, divide by 2, negative 1 and 1/2 is the other solution. Those are the 2 solutions that will make this problem up above true. If we plug it in, those n values in, it's going to make that guy true.